So this is the adaptive triangle. Understanding this model will help you understand what exactly are the stimuli for the adaptations we want to see from exercise. There's a stimulus organism adaptation model you've learned about, and now this is fleshing that out a little bit. So see on the outside, the blue words, those are stimuli, and then inside the triangle are the adaptations. And they're paired up. So tension gives you more strength. More damage gives you more hypertrophy. More metabolic stress gives you more conditioning. By tension, it usually means weight on the bar, mechanical tension on the system as you exercise. Damage means muscle damage, microtrauma, damage to the actual muscle fibers. And the adaptation to this damage is the body builds it back bigger. So hypertrophy, muscle mass, mass gain, cross-sectional area increase of the actual muscle fibers. And then metabolic stress is a stimulus that causes a conditioning adaptation. The accumulation of byproducts of fatigue, and you're breathing hard and your heart's beating, that's metabolic stress. And the degree to which you can stimulate that is the degree to which your body will improve its conditioning as a response. So that's the basics. And so you've heard of probably different rep ranges and what they're for, and that's based on this triangle. The way that you usually hear it is like 1 to 3 reps, that's for strength. 4 to 12 reps is for hypertrophy, and like 12 reps and above, that's for conditioning. So you have, say, powerlifters, and they do 1 to 3 reps because they're focused on strength. And the reason that they get mostly strength and not a lot of the other two is because they've chosen a weight that's so heavy that they can't continue their set past the first 2 or 3 reps because it's too heavy and they can't lift it again. And so they don't have enough volume to accumulate very much damage or to accumulate very much metabolic stress. And so in their pursuit of strength, they have compromised and have neglected the other two. Now, let's say someone wants to work in the 4 to 12 rep range and get more hypertrophy. Okay, cool. First step, lower the weight on the bar so that your set can last longer than just 3 reps. So you lower the weight on the bar, which lowers the tension, which lowers your strength adaptation. And so that's why the 4 to 12 rep range is recommended for hypertrophy, because now the weight is light enough that your set can continue into that range. And it's still not long enough to get much of a metabolic stress, and the weight is no longer heavy enough to get a lot of tension and maximize strength. So in your pursuit of hypertrophy, you have to compromise, and you have to leave it on the table. You don't get as much strength or as much conditioning as you might have liked. And then finally, the rep range, 13 reps and up, you lower the weight on the bar even more. So even less tension. And more tension means more damage. So when you have less tension, you now have even less damage. So you have a light weight in your hand so that you can do 13, 14, and up that many reps. And so in your pursuit of conditioning, which you get, you've compromised. You can't have as much strength and you can't have as much hypertrophy. So with a weight, with a metal weight that you use to exercise, if that's your tool, then your pursuit of one area of the triangle necessarily means that you're leaving the other two untapped. And you get a little bit of the other two, but you can never maximize all 3 at once. Anytime you select one, that means you're not doing the other two. So here's where ARX shines. You know that 1 to 3 rep, 4 to 12 rep, 13 reps and up model I was just talking about? So imagine this. You get on ARX and the tension is maximum right from the very beginning. So it's like a 1 rep max in the weight room, except that you get to do more than 1 rep because ARX is like a magical barbell. After your 1 rep, now you get to continue. So you get that maximum tension that accomplishes all the strength adaptation of which you're capable at the time. So you do 1 repetition, 2 repetition, and you continue, 10, 20 seconds, and that's your maximum tension work. And if you were using a weight, you'd have to stop because you couldn't lift the barbell again. But you have an ARX machine, and so you're in luck. You get to continue. So you've accomplished everything you can possibly accomplish for strength, but you keep going. And your set on ARX continues up to 45 seconds or even a minute. And so now you're in that middle range, you're in that hypertrophy range, but you didn't have to compromise any strength gains to get there. You got all the strength gains, and now you're into hypertrophy. Now you're accumulating enough volume at this high tension, especially during the eccentric phase, to damage the hell out of the muscle fibers. So you have a maximal hypertrophic stimulus. You're welcome. So you've gotten all your strength, and now after about a minute, you've gotten all your hypertrophy. And now if you continue, which you could or could not, it's up to you, minute 15, minute 30, even up to 2 minutes, now you're accumulating a lot of byproducts of fatigue, breathing like a freight train, heart's beating out of your chest. You've gotten your strength, you've gotten your hypertrophy, and now at the end of the set, you have gotten your conditioning. So all three have been maximized, none of them have been compromised, and it was all done in one go. So it's a huge bang for your buck. By pursuing one of these things on the triangle, you give up none of the others when ARX is your tool. So you can maximize strength, hypertrophy, and conditioning all at the same time with no compromises and leave nothing, no stone unturned. And so that's the huge advantage of ARX. You don't need to give up your hypertrophy and conditioning in a pursuit of strength. You don't need to give up strength and conditioning in the pursuit of hypertrophy, and you don't need to give up hypertrophy and strength in the pursuit of conditioning. With ARX, you get strength, hypertrophy, and conditioning all at once. And that's why with ARX, you can have your cake and eat it too.